The Jolla C features a 5-inch IPS display with a resolution of 720p. On the front top you can see the ear speaker, a sensor and a 2-megapixel front camera. The smartphone itself has a 2-color body, a black front and a red back cover that you can take off. On the left side there's basically nothing, and on the right side, however, you can find the volume rocker as well as the power button. On the top side you can find the micro USB connector, a 3.5mm headset jack and the Jolla logo on the far right. On the bottom side there are some holes in there, but only the middle right one features the actual speaker, and on the far right you can also see the main microphone. On the back side you can see the 8-megapixel main camera together with an LED flash and another microphone for noise cancellation. Besides the Jolla and Safe logos, there is an embedded limited edition printing, making it clear that this device is a rarity. The device weighs around 150 grams and feels light and comfortably in the hand due to its rounded corners on the left and right side. The Jolla C features the Safe operating system version 2.02. In terms of user experience, nothing dramatically changed here, and I had not much of a problem in regards of swiping around the user interface, even with its bigger 5-inch screen. Though sometimes I had to adjust my grip to reach every element on the screen. The device feels snappy and fluid thanks to its quad-core Snapdragon 212, and stutters are very rare. The multitasking benefits a lot from the 2 GB of RAM in comparison to the Jolla One, so you can open up a lot of applications and have them running in the background without the system closing them. This is also true for Android applications. Yes, this device, just like every other Jolla device, is able to run Android applications and features now Android 4.4.4 support or API level 19 support for Android apps. Android apps start quickly and run fine most of the time. The main speaker on the Jolla C delivers a good quality, even though it lacks in terms of bass, but in terms of volume it can get pretty loud, and this is very good for hands-free calling. Call quality is good, but nothing more. It sounds like a typical phone call, but without HD sound capabilities. Here's a little example featuring the new call recording functionality.
Ja, das ist ein kleiner Test, den ich jetzt aufnehme, um zu testen, wie so die Sprachqualität des Anrufs ist, UMTS-Verbindung. Und ich spreche hier mit meinem BlackBerry direkt auf dem Jolla C, und das Jolla C hat ein nettes, interessantes neues Feature. Es kann nämlich Gespräche, sobald das euer Land erlaubt, auch aufnehmen. Und ich hoffe, dass man mich einigermaßen klar verstehen kann. Und das ist so die Tonqualität, die man hören kann, wenn man per UMTS mit jemandem redet.
The microphone works fine for recording your voice and noise is filtered out quite good. Here's an example I recorded on the device. Ja, das ist ein kleiner Test. Ich hoffe, man kann mich einigermaßen verstehen. Das Jolla ist 30 cm von mir entfernt. Ich halte es in meiner Hand quasi und schaue auf meinen Bildschirm, höre Radio gleichzeitig im Hintergrund. Das wird man wahrscheinlich auch hören. Und ja, das ist so alles, was ich sagen wollte und testen wollte. Voice over LTE is not supported, but this is something I could not even test, even if I wanted to, as currently there's a bug which prevents connecting to 800 MHz LTE bands, which is a common band here in Europe. The IPS display is quite good, delivering good brightness and good color reproduction, especially if you take a look at the cost of the device. Even in a sunny environment, it is still readable on maximum brightness. It's far better in comparison to the Jolla 1. Taking pictures is nothing new. You get the good old camera app from Snappy OS with the ability to touch to focus. The image itself, however, are lagging behind, as you can see, clearly graining and noise even right indoor areas. This is all an indication of a small camera sensor. It's pretty small camera sensor, even smaller than on the Jolla 1. On top of that, the camera lens seems to be pretty soft. In taking a look at the 8 megapixel shot at 100%, you can clearly see the softness on the corners of the image. The same goes for video recording, video capturing. It's pretty soft as well, and you only get HD 720p video recording. Overall, the camera of the Jolla C is pretty bad, and it's not even capable to beat the camera on the first Jolla device. The front-facing camera and its 2 megapixels is nothing fancy, especially not for selfie maniacs. The Jolla C as first Snappy OS device features a dual SIM support. You can put in 2 micro SIM cards that work simultaneously. You just need to lift up the back cover and take out the battery to insert the micro SIMs and micro SD card. It's not possible to insert those while the battery is in place. In terms of software, there's pretty good support for those 2 SIM cards. Both are active and you are able to switch to the default one or set it up to ask you every time which SIM card to use. Snappy OS features the Jolla Store as primary software repository, as well as F-Droid or Aptoid for Android software, which can be installed directly from the Jolla Store. Most of the frequently used apps can be installed during the first setup of the device in its wizard. This includes email, app, browser, calculator, calendar, notes, and media app. Thanks to the unofficial Open Repos warehouse store, it's even possible to install a lot of other clever and neat little native applications, Sailfish apps. In terms of games, the device supports running 3D games from Android or native casual games, and they all run fine most of the times, though the hardware is not supposed to run heavy 3D games. Battery life is pretty good for a 2500 milliampere hours battery. On my normal usage, I got around 2 days of battery life. If you use the device heavily, you should at least get 1 day of battery life, and this all depends on your usage. So if you don't use the Android support and turn it off and don't have chat apps running in the background all the time, you can get even 3 to 4 days out of it. In comparison to the Jolla 1 device, the battery is a little bit stronger and lasts longer on the Jolla C. On graphic intense games and tasks, you can feel the backside getting pretty warm around the camera, but during my tests I had no overheating issues, even though I tested the device in pretty hot summer conditions with around 35 degrees Celsius here. Conclusion: the Jolla C with the big C that stands for community shows exactly what the target audience is. It is not a pure phone for developers, but rather people interested in Snappy OS and real Linux on a phone. And it's a present for the community in its limited edition, though even the community has to pay a little bit more than the Intex Aquafish, featuring the same hardware and also running Snappy OS, but also sold in India. For 136 euros plus taxes, which can go up to 169 euros, you get a pretty decent device that's better than the 3 years old Jolla 1 device and improves in almost every category. It's like they did a checklist or something like this. More processing cores, check. More RAM, check. Bigger, brighter display, check. Higher display resolution, check. Better speaker, check. Better microphone, check. Bigger battery, check. But then they somehow got stuck there and took a step back in terms of camera performance. A smaller sensor resulting in more noise, a bad camera lens with soft edges producing blurry images. Adding up the problem with the LTE and its 800 MHz band, pulling the good first impression of the device with a good solid Snappy OS software experience down a little. At the end, It's a community edition device produced for low price and only available for a limited amount of customers to replace the 3-year-old Jolla 1 device. And this is something it really can do, though not everyone will get one.